When I close this toilet water shutoff valve, it doesn't turn off the water supply to the toilet. It's a multi-turn valve, so it has a washer on the end of the valve stem. The washer has deteriorated and it's not making a good seal against the seat in the valve body. That's why it no longer stops the flow of water. Some types of valve stems have a removable screw on the end of them, and you can replace the washer. This valve doesn't have a removable screw, so the entire valve has to be replaced. Sometimes multi-valves become stuck and you can't turn them, or they leak at the valve stem. Often both of these problems are repairable. Click on the channel name Know How Now to find videos on how to loosen a stuck valve and how to fix a valve that leaks at the stem. Turn off the main water supply. Drain the water from the system by opening the hot and cold taps. Flush to drain the water from the tank. Place a towel or a container underneath the valve. Remove the water supply hose from the body of the valve by turning the nut on the hose counterclockwise. To free up some more room to work, if it's easily accessible, remove the other end of the water supply hose by turning the nut counterclockwise. If the water supply hose hasn't been recently replaced, it's a good idea to go ahead and replace it. They're relatively inexpensive. They have rubber washers on either end of them, and over time those washers deteriorate and can cause a leak. This valve is connected to a threaded pipe. It's one of the easiest types of valves to replace. There's some threads on the back of the valve, and there's a place to put a wrench. If the pipe coming out of the wall is chrome, protect it from getting marred by the jaws of the wrench by wrapping it in tape or rubber or a piece of leather. Place a wrench onto the pipe and hold on to it, and then turn the valve counterclockwise to spin it off the pipe. It's important to hold on to the pipe coming out of the wall, because if it's difficult to turn the valve, then you could spin the entire pipe. You could break a solder joint or a connection beyond the wall and cause a leak. I had difficulty breaking the valve loose from the pipe, so I sprayed the joint with an oil penetrant and waited about a half an hour. Use a good oil penetrant like PB Blaster or Liquid Wrench. Some people try to use WD-40, and that's not an oil penetrant. Clean the threads. Be careful not to damage them. Wrap Teflon tape clockwise around the threads. About 3, 4, 5 wraps. This pink tape is a little thicker, so I'm only going to do about 3 wraps. Turn the new valve clockwise on the threads. Do this by hand until you meet resistance. The threads on the pipe are tapered, and that's to prevent the valve from coming loose. It's so that you can tighten it up. Hold on to the pipe and use a wrench to tighten the valve. Turn the valve until it's in the correct position so that you can reconnect the water supply hose. Reconnect the water supply hose. Turn the nut clockwise. Be careful not to cross-thread it, and tighten it by hand until you meet resistance. Then give it a little turn with the wrench to snug it up. You don't need to over-tighten this, because all you need to do is compress that rubber gasket to make a tight seal. Connect the other end of the supply line. If it's a plastic nut, just tighten it by hand. Don't over tighten it because the plastic nut can break. Turn on the water supply and check for leaks. I hope you found this video helpful. A thumbs up is always appreciated. Click on the channel name, Know How Now, to find other videos. And thanks for watching.